Making sure my eyebrows are looking sharp. What's going on, everybody? It is me, Chavez, and I am back. We are back with another player prop talk live stream here on the channel. Full transparency, I give two shits about my eyebrows. I just thought that was funny. I've been working with these caterpillars for my entire life. I'm glad my face finally grew into them. For a while, I had like the bushiest eyebrows, and I used to get made fun of a lot when I was in school. Now my face is caught up. Now I just have like normal eyebrows, but in my mind there'll always be like Eugene Levy's eyebrows. The dad from American Pie, is that too outdated for y'all? The dad from Schitt's Creek, Eugene Levy, him. What's up, everybody? All right, hope you're doing well today, Friday, June 7, 2024. Hope you had a great night. Hope you're off to a good start this morning. And we're going to talk some player props here in a few minutes, but we do have a few things to get to before we get into player props. Hashtag blessed being one of those. The most morbid intro to a live stream that I've seen. We're talking about death 5 minutes into a stream because over 10% of the U.S. population dies in their sleep every single night. So if you are listening to this, hearing this, you did not die in your sleep. Hashtag bless. Go do something cool. I always say go do something cool, but like today's Friday. So isn't there more incentive on a Friday or just more energy on a Friday because it's the weekend, it's payday or whatever? I mean, running out of reasons to not do shit with your day. So being blessed is just part of it. Do something with it. Like choose your attitude. Today we're talking about attitude. Why am I always talking about attitude? Because in a heartbeat, your attitude can get sculpted, shifted by many different things. One of those things not being you. Somebody cuts you off on the street, in the parking garage. DoorDash is taking too damn long with your order. Your dog pissed on your clothes, whatever. Now all of a sudden you got a shitty attitude. Most time people's attitude is really fucked up throughout the day. Nobody stops and thinks about that, but it's true because we let things outside of our control our attitude. So if you start the day off saying, hey, my attitude is this, I'm have an attitude of appreciation and gratitude, or maybe I got a chip on my shoulder because I need to prove people wrong and I need to go out and get mine. Whatever your attitude is, you choose it. So very important in my mind. In my opinion, choose your damn attitude. Don't let somebody choose it for you. Don't let something else choose it for you. Make a good decision. Speaking of good decisions, playing on better is a good decision. Listen, we've been promoting better or just talking about better here for a minute because better is honestly evolving into one of the better pick'em sites out there. And we always talk about promos and things like that, and they always have a good one. And we'll get to the one that they have running in the finals. But customer service is key. Yesterday, my account got disabled because I tried to withdraw all the damn money that I won. And my email didn't match my PayPal account. So they flagged it. They sent me an email. They said, hey, these are the things you need to do. And I said, great. My account's going to be disabled for 5 days or whatever because customer service sucks, right? Within 20 minutes, my account was back up and running and I made a withdrawal. So that customer service correspondence with those agents was super fast, efficient, and you're talking to real people. So listen, we always talk shit about customer service and then getting mad at customer service reps because for whatever reasons, and we think we can do a better job. And I'm telling you right now, you don't always want to find out how good a customer service agent is, but in the event you have to, it's nice to know that there are people out there doing their job. So better is honestly evolving into one of my favorite pick'em sites right now. First time deposit match up to 250. Scan that QR code. Is that simple? Kyrie promo throughout the entirety of the NBA Finals yesterday. He only needs to score 1 point to hit his line. Now you just pair that up with one play, and you can 3x your money. You can put this in as large of a slip as they'll allow you. 7 pick is the max on better. But for promos like that, it's kind of a sure thing. probably don't want to risk it too much. Throw it in a 2-pick or a 3-pick. It does limit your upside, but come on, man, that's a bankroll builder all day. So better promo on Kyrie Irving. If you missed it yesterday, don't worry, it'll be up and running on Sunday, so you can take advantage of it there. I didn't realize Kyrie Irving has so many gray hairs. That's kind of why I started shaving my beard a little bit more, keeping it trimmed so you don't see all the gray hairs. Anytime you're a man over 30 and let your hair grow out, them gray hairs ain't no punk. And them gray hairs will sabotage the day. All right, let's keep it moving. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all being here on the channel. Another Player Prop Talk live stream. Hit that like button on your way in. Means a ton. Helps the channel get bigger by putting this content in front of new people every day. New people watching the stream means that this channel gets bigger. Let's move on. Discord talk. $9.99 10-day pass. Listen, I don't want to get into a huge rant about this, but started off June very slowly. Past 2 days have been strong. Past 2 days, top 5% on PIKKIT in terms of ROI and units won. The reason I mention that is because those picks, those slips are being put in the Discord for people to use. Now, if they don't use them, that's not my fault. But when I win, the Discord wins. When the Discord wins, I win. So what I'm getting at is $10 for 10 days. You would have gotten your money back times 20 yesterday, something like that. So get in now, $10.99, $9.99, 10-day pass. Got the numbers mixed up there. Or just get ahead of it. Sign up for a month, $19.99. If you're a member of the previous free Player Prop Discord, you do get a 10%, 15% discount, depending on how long you were a member of the free Player Prop Discord. So if you were a former member of that Discord, DM me, let me know, and I'll make sure that your discount is applied. Or you can just sign up for a full year. Get 20% off the full year. Pretty simple. All three of these are available. We're ready for you. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get this day going. June 7th, 2024. We're talking player props here on the channel. PrizePicks, Underdog, Jock Market, Better, Sleeper, Hot Streak. Wherever you play, doesn't matter to me. Player props are player props are player props. Listen, we'll look it all up using the fine tools and resources over on props.cash. Props.cash is big part of my research process. Thanks 25. Get you 25% off your first month. Use that code. All these codes, all these links that I talk about are also in the stream description. So if you ever miss one, just go refer to the stream description. You'll find what you need in there. But yeah, thanks 25. That is the promo code for props.cash, and we'll get into props.cash here in a minute. What's going on? Canadian dad, Tatum 20 points, Kyrie 1+3. Everybody hit set for them. Yeah, Tatum. Remember on the stream where I said, hey, if Tatum doesn't score any points in the first quarter, don't worry, he'll score 0.5 points and you'll cash that promo. Well, how long did it take him to score a fucking point? I think he hit a 3 at the end of the first quarter, maybe the beginning of the second. I mean, that's just what he does. It's just what he does. Collective effort yesterday. Kristaps Porzingis, really. Man, that team looks so different with him on the floor. You cannot replicate that with Al Horford or whoever. Xavier Tillman is a huge difference in play. It's a huge difference in attitude. It's a huge difference in defense when he's on that court. It's crazy. Yeah, he crushed that PRA though. We talked about that on the stream. I don't know about crush. I think he finished with 26, but it's over. He went over. What's up, T? Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well in the chat. Time to put the rent on Caitlin Clark's points today. I don't know about the rent. Hope you're doing good, Anthony. Gilbert, what's up? JR, what is going on? Good morning, Peep. Shitty game last night. Yeah, I mean, from a Celtics fan perspective, it was great. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I cut the game off like 3-4 minutes left in the second quarter and started like streaming a crime documentary. And then I got back on the game in the third quarter. So I missed the run. I missed the Mavericks cutting it down to 8. So when I turned it back on, they were still down by 20. And then like soon as Jason Kidd waved that white flag, I just started playing Red Dead Redemption. I'm way past that game. I beat the game like 4 years ago, but I still have it where I just roam around and rob banks and shit, rob trains and steal stuff from the lawmen who are trying to find me. They never do. So that's what I did. And then I went to sleep. So yeah, shitty game from a betting point, I guess, because that blowout really messes up a lot. Luka doesn't even hit PRA. He doesn't hit fantasy points. So just blowouts mess up everything. Yeah, Derek White got off to a really good start yesterday and then just didn't need to do much else in the second half. I mean, really, it was a first half blowout. If you think about the production in the second half compared to the first half, this really wasn't the same. Kind of like a WNBA game where you see Asia Wilson go off for 40 fantasy points in the first half, and she comes out and scores 8 in the second half because they don't need her to do anything. So those games are not good for player props, unfortunately. Aaron Babu, what is up? I like that name. Anthony says, who saw Porzingis going off yesterday, especially coming off injury? Good thing I didn't see him going off yesterday, but that 24 PRA, the 23.5 PRA line was too low. And then when it got bumped up to 24, I still felt that was too low. Like I told you, they're not going to bring him back if he's not 100%. And I know when he came off the bench, people automatically panic and they think that means that he's hurt. Joe Mazzulla is in a good position right now where he can bring Porzingis off the bench and it completely fucks up what Jason Kidd is trying to do. Jason Kidd can't match Porzingis coming off the bench. So now what does he have to do? He has to alter his rotation a little bit, throws everything off. And you can see him coming off the bench and still being productive. He is a fantasy point per minute producer. So only if he only plays 25 minutes, we talked about this, he's capable of giving you 25, 30 fantasy points in 25 minutes. That's exactly what he did yesterday. The blocks were key, but that's what he does. So I didn't see him going off. I just felt like the books were a little too low on his line. Luka 1 assist shows how bad his teammates were, and also how good the Celtics defense were just really playing those lanes really well, not giving things up, easy buckets up. I'm sure they'll get it back. In game 2, I'm sure it'll be a much more competitive game in game 2. Early player props for game 2. Aaron, I actually have a few slips that I put in the Discord already. We'll go over some, though. I'm sure those players are still up on the board. We'll look at some early locks for game 2 if you want to ensure that value. But without further delay, let's get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head over to the props.cash dashboard, and we are going to talk about some player props. Collectively here. All right. Yordan Alvarez over hitter fantasy score looks good to me. This League of Legends play, Hear it, Ribbit, over 3 map, 1 kills. Also looks good. Let's start off in the NBA. I'll share with you a few picks that I like for game 2. And then per usual, throw your questions in the chat. I'll try to get to as many as possible without going too over my time here. Porzingis over points is in play. Porzingis over 3-pointers is also in play. These two correlate. You want to build out a couple different slips using these two plays. He doesn't go over points without threes. That is a pretty big part of his game, especially if they're trying to D him up with Hardy and Green and these little dudes. He literally was just shooting over everybody yesterday. So these two correlate really well. If you want to throw these in separate slips, I don't see any problem with that. Couple of unders for you. Honestly, look, I know Luka's going to bounce back, but looking at his points, his rebounds, and assists separately on the books for game 2, they are favored to go under. I think 50.5 is a little too high. I personally feel it's a little too high for him. 47, 48, even 49, but he needs 51 in this game. He has to go off, like really go off. I don't know if the Celtics are that team to let that happen. He's going to score. He's going to find his points. Porzingis 3-pointers just got pulled off the screen. That shit's been up for a couple days, so it's not even a matter of PrizePicks being greedy. It's just a matter of got to get on those plays early. Luka under his PRA. PJ Washington's PRA was at 18.5. I locked that in already, but at 19.5, you can still take a look at it. I don't know if you want to play it at 19.5. I personally hate playing the bumps, but if you're not opposed to that, then look at the over for him. Jason Tatum over 14.5 rebounds and assists also looks good to me. I think that one's a little too low, to be very honest with you. I can see him averaging 10 rebounds in the finals, at least throughout the first 4 games. If he's giving you 10 rebounds per game, he's not just going to give you 10. If you're averaging 10, you're hitting over 10 in some of those games. You're getting 11 rebounds, 12 rebounds. You need to get 3-4 assists. I think that's likely. Luka's rebounds and assists got bumped down from 18.5 to 17.5. So the books are already on top of these plays. They're not wasting any time on those. Drew Holiday's rebounds, I know they're in play at 5.5. Everybody's playing the over on this one. You can go there if you want. Jaylen Brown under 2.5 turnovers got pulled off the board already. That was a good one. I don't mind this one, not because it's 5 straight games of going under, but he's just not turning the ball over 7-8 times like we've seen him do in the past. I think 5 turnovers is a lot for him. So I think that one's also in play. Unfortunately, some of these plays got bumped or taken off the board, so we can't break all of them down, but these were a few that were standing out to me. I'm telling you right now, this Porzingis is going to get pulled off the board, or it's going to get bumped to 15 at some point. Huge WNBA slate. Need to pair with my girl, Caitlin Clark. What's up, Big Icy? Good morning. She's going against the Mystic, battle of the worst teams. She's due for a huge bounce back, especially after scoring a whopping 3 points. That transition is no pump. That transition from NCAA to pro. She'll get her. She'll find her groove, I'm sure, but you just see it coming every year. It's the same shit in every sport. It's just the learning curve. Some players are faster than others in terms of overcoming that. Sometimes it's just a physical, like the physicality of the game. Sometimes you just see college players that are just too small, like too light in the ass, or they don't have the mental toughness yet. When someone your age is talking shit to you, you're like, yeah, whatever. And then you got grown ass people talking shit to you. You're like, oh shit, it's a little different. It's a little different. I'm sure she'll get hers though. A good pair for her points. If you're taking, I'm not touching her points. I agree. I think she's due for a bounce back, but taking the under at 18, we were seeing her points over 20. Beginning of the year, weren't they at 21 or something like that? Yeah, this one doesn't feel like this one feels like a little iffy, but this Hamby over 13.5 rebounds and assists is also a strong one. If you wanted to pair up, it doesn't have to be a WNBA play to pair up with Caitlin Clark. I don't know if you're playing on a specific book that does it like that, but everyone should be playing the best value possible, not matching, league. So the best play on the board for somebody is, Kristaps, that's the best play, right? Or if the best play on the board for, somebody is an MLB play and they like the over Bobby Witt's fantasy, they're going to pair that up with Caitlin Clark or Al Horford or whoever. That's really what we care about, is the best value on the board. I stopped caring about making all the slip look the same by league or sport a long time ago. It does happen that way sometimes, where the best plays on the board happen to be all NBA plays or all MLB plays. But yeah, if you want to pair up Caitlin Clark with another WNBA play, I think this Hamby one is a strong play. I just threw Bobby Witt in there as an example. I don't really have a take on him. Unless somebody wants to break him down, we can, but I would just throw him in there. Flex Friday might as well, regardless. Definitely flex that play. Anthony says, I've been on the nerfy streak for the MLB, but not too much on the board. Nerfies are a good source of value, and PrizePicks knows it. They'll pull them off the board real fast. You gotta be up really early for those, or up really late, whichever one. All right, I tell you what, we got a few plays on the board. Let's head over to props.cash and let's start breaking a few of these plays down. All right. Any blogs up? 2 blogs up. WNBA blog and MLB blog. So those are good to read. Good start to your research in those blogs. They're not telling you to take an over. They're not really they're not taking a take on a player. They're not saying you need to play the over under this line. They're simply providing you with data for specific props and just letting you see where the value is. And from there, you play whatever you want. But it's a good start to your research. It's not a cheat sheet by any means. Sometimes cheat sheets can get a little watered down and you just rely on people to tell you what to do. It's nice to have something that, kind of makes you think a little bit so that you don't get too comfortable. Those blogs are really good for helping you with your research. All right, let's go WNBA first. Let's look up this De'Erica Hamby, the Mamby Jamby Hambies. Where did I get that from? The Mamby Jamby. I don't know where I got that. I probably just made it up. I get a lot of things from movies and then I put my own spin on it. And before I know it, I got my own language, or I got like my own dialect going on. And then my dog is just looking at me like, who are you? She doesn't give a damn. As long as I feed her and give her new toys every once in a while, she's good. All right, so we're looking at Hamby's rebounds and assists. This one is getting really positive odds, -138 to the over. However, it's just on one book at this time, which I usually like taking plays that have a few more data points, but we'll look at this one anyway. 60% in her last 5, 70 in her last 10, 25% when the Sparks take on the Wings last game out this season, not too long ago, 17 rebounds and assists. So she's fully capable of hitting this over. A couple hooks in there. Projected for 13.6. So that's not really that big of a discrepancy from the line. I mean, it is closer to 14 than it is to 13, but not by much. I still like that one. I still like the over her 13.5 rebounds and assists. Caitlin Clark's points, taking the under on her points. Now, these got bumped up from 17.5 to 18. So at 17.5, you had Bovada, Hard Rock, Fliff, and DraftKings taking the over, like convincingly taking the over. Now that they've been bumped up to 18, there's no line for that. 18.5. You're getting some over because at 18.5, she needs 19. So at 18, she still needs 19. But if she landed right on 18, it's not the end of the world. The problem here is that she's not landing on 19 or 18 in any of her games to start off her WNBA career. So she's either flying over this line or just flying way under this. So you're really like asking yourself, is she going to get 20 points today? Because when she goes over, that's what she's doing. She's not barely getting this over. Taking a look at her projections today, they're projected for right at 18. So I think a push is in play here. But also, anybody in any sport can get hot and start knocking down shots. If she starts hitting her threes, I mean, she's taken a lot of threes. You know, I'm sure as her career evolves, these will be like 11 and 12 and 13 field goal attempts. But also, this will be like 6, 7, 5 made versus 2s and 3s. I mean, she's really struggling to get over that 3-point line, that 3-pointers made line. I mean, she's only gotten over 3 one time. But even with 3 3-pointers made today, that's half of her point prop. That's 9 points. I mean, if she went out there and got you 4, that's 12. She only needs 7 to go over. She's projected for 2.5. Her PRA, she's projected for 32 PRA. I don't know what her PRA line is on Bobby Witt. Just got bumped up to 9.5. Maybe that one was a good one. I just randomly selected him to throw it in a slip, but maybe that Bobby Witt play was a good play. PrizePicks bumped it up to 9.5. Yeah, Caitlin Clark doesn't have a PRA line. However, so she needs 19, she needs 6, and she needs 7. That's 13 plus 19 is 32. So she needs 32 combined for this to go over. 32. She's being projected for 32, roughly. She's projected for 6 rebounds and 7 assists. If you don't like her points, or if you don't want to touch her points, you could possibly look to her rebounds at 5. They're showing up as 5.5 on other pick'em sites or other books. So maybe you go with her points. I don't mind her PRA. If you can find her PRA somewhere, especially if you can find her PRA like 31, something like that, 30.5. 29.5 is what I'm seeing here, though. All right, let's look at a few NBA plays. Who would have ever thought we would be talking about WNBA before NBA? I almost said NWA. It's a lot of fucking acronyms going on here, a lot of abbreviations. We're talking NWA today. I'm taking Dre over 2. No, Dr. Dre, over under 5.5 F-bombs in a rap song, in a song. I'm taking the under on that one. Eazy-E, over or under 9.5 F-bombs in a verse. That's a good question. Eazy-E, rest in peace. Over under 9.5 F-bombs in a verse. You taking the over or under on Eazy-E dropping F-bombs? Cube would be another candidate for that too. If you don't know who NWA is, I'm sorry. It's once again showing my age. All right. Kristaps Porzingis. Now look, 14.5 points. We were looking at this. It's at 15 in a lot of places. It's going to get bumped up. It's gradually bumping up. This one is a little tricky because you only have one game in the playoffs to look at, really. One full game in the playoffs to look at. I mean, the last time he played was Miami back in April. But you're looking at matchup. You're looking at just minutes played. And it's very difficult to not like him in game 2. He only played 21 minutes. Did you know that? That he put up that stat line, that production in 21 minutes? So you should feel confident, even if his minutes are lower, that he's still going to be on the floor. And when he's on the floor, he's not standing in the corner waiting on the ball. He's doing shit. So 14.5 points is in play, in my opinion. At 15.5, you're going to start to see those odds really favor the under. His three-pointers made at 1.5. We talked about that for like a second before PrizePicks pulled that off the board. All 4 books on the screen do like the over on his threes made. So it's hard for him to get his points, 16 points, 17 points, wherever he's at, without hitting threes. So those two are in play. Earlier, I talked about taking the under on Luka Doncic PRA. So PRA, he's at 50.5 on 50.5 on PrizePicks. So at 50.5, he hasn't done it in the playoffs very often. That's a big number, man. It's a big number. He can still hit a triple-double. He can still lead his team in scoring. He can do all the things and not go over PRA. It's not necessary for him to go over PRA to have a good game. But if we look at his points, at 31.5, let's say he goes out there and gets you 32 points. So let's find 31. We got Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel that all like the over 31, but BetMGM is saying under 32.5. So let's say he gets you 32, which he honestly has not done very often in the playoffs. So 32 points. He's projected to go under rebounds. So let's say he gets you 9 rebounds. That's 32 plus 9 is 41. And then his assists are projected to go way under. I don't think we see him get 1 assist again, but we're at 41 points and rebounds. And he goes out there and gets you 9 assists, which this is saying that 9 is not going to happen. That's only 50. I say only 50, but it is 50 PRA, but that's not 51. In the event he has a lower scoring game, or he gets 1 less rebound or 1 less assist, that PRA is coming down. I promise you that PRA is going to drop from 51.5 or 50.5, wherever it is. It's going to drop. So if you want to take the under now, that's the highest line it'll be. So I think the under on Luka is in play. PJ Washington's PRA at 18.5 was also standing out to me. It's been bumped up to 19.5. Even in a blowout loss, he got his. I think he's blowout proof, but he's not going to go out there and dominate. That's not his role. But I think he's blowout proof. I think he's on the floor no matter what. I think he plays enough minutes, and I think he's too active and too engaged in the game plan for him to have a completely shit game. They need his scoring. They really need his scoring out there. I mean, that blowout, man, he played 36 minutes. That's blowout proof. That's blowout proof. In 36 minutes, he got his over. That one to me is in play. His PRA at 18.5. If you can find it at 18.5, I think that one's a good one. All right. We just talked about quite a few playoff props here. The ultimate DGen bet. Let's see. Enrique over assist. Kia under her threes. All right. Oh, so we already talked about Hamby. We didn't talk about Luka's turnovers. I still think they're in play for the under his PRA. Jason Tatum rebounds and assists. I think that one's worth looking at. Jason Tatum over rebounds and assists. I saw an article before the finals started that the Celtics were favorites to win, and then Jason Tatum, that was their prediction for finals MVP, and I just didn't see it happening. We talked about Derek White being the finals MVP, just kind of throwing a dark horse out there. I mean, the way Jaylen Brown played in game one, it's possible. You know, you got 3-4 guys on that team that could possibly take that if the Celtics do win. But Jason Tatum has to fucking dominate, man. And I mean dominate in all aspects, not 20 rebounds and assists and 15 points. Like, dominate, take games over, shut it down, put it on ice, right? Like, that's what he needs to do. 25 plus points. 20 rebounds and assists, no turnovers, 0 whatever turnovers, 4 threes. There just needs to be like very strong performances from him. These games are not MVP worthy. They're just not. I don't think he gives a shit about that. If they end up winning the finals, I don't think he is gonna cry about him not winning finals MVP. But I just didn't understand that one. I think it's a sexy pick because everybody knows Jason Tatum, and it's an easy pick. You pick arguably the best player on the team, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Derek White or Jaylen Brown walk away with that if the Celtics do win. Rebounds and assists, though, for Jason Tatum, can't argue with this, man. Can't argue with this. 3 straight games of 16 plus. I mean, the entirety of the playoffs has been his playground in terms of rebounds and assists. He has not slowed down. He's had a couple games where he did go under, but 13 rebounds and assists is no joke. 11's a little on the lower end, but I mean, he's averaging 16 pretty much throughout the entire playoffs. I mean, there's no fluke. There's no, oh, he only did that against the Heat. Well, he did it against Cleveland. He did it against the Pacers. He's doing it against Dallas. He's doing it against everybody. It's just what he's doing. Even with Porzingis in there, he's still grabbing rebounds. So I think this one's in play. I think this one does get bumped to 15 by tomorrow, if not by the end of the day. So again, a lot of these NBA props that we're talking about, there's no need to wait on these. If you're liking the over, that means the line is set a little too low, and the books know it and the pick'em sites know it. They're just waiting on that money to come in. As that money starts to come into one side, we talk about this all the time, it starts to, create that seesaw. They need to get that seesaw back on even ground. So these are going to bump. T said he was taking the under on Kia Nurse threes. Was it Kia Nurse? How many games today? These are all today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6. Kia under her threes. What are her threes at? 1.5. Porzingis just got bumped up. So it's not hard to see this coming. When you look at the books and you look at the odds and where that money's going, it's going to the over. So this has been bumped up. It'll get bumped up again to 15.5. Tatum's going to get bumped up next. Luka will probably get bumped down to 4. Hamby will probably stay. We didn't see a lot of juice coming into the over, so that one might be safe if you want to wait, but there you go. This is going to get bumped down to 50. Kia under 1.5. Damn, man, she's been on a fucking terrible slump. That shit looks like Peloton stock. Shit is like fucking $1.50 stock right there. All right, let's take a look at Kia Nurse's 3-point prop. She is projected for 1.56. Man, FanDuel likes the over, but bam, Bet Rivers under, Hard Rock over. That's it. You got 2 books that really like the over on this one. You got a few books that are just kind of even on it, and then you got ESPN Bet, FanDuel, Hard Rock. That's 3 books that are favoring over. Okay, let's figure out why. Maybe this has something to do with it. Dallas historically has let her go off for over a prop. 3 out of 5 games, she's gotten 3 or more. Dallas so far on the season is not allowing a lot of production. They're only giving up 7 threes made per game and a 32% from 3. I mean, this is top-notch shit right here. That's strong. She will, or at least she has, over the last 5 games against Dallas, taken her fair share of threes. They've come down a bit. This is a huge drop from the 11. Let's look at her last 5, just overall 5 games, not against Dallas. In her last 5 games, she's averaging 5 threes per game, and she's making just 2 of them. 1.6. Isn't that her projection for today? Yep. Basically 1.6. So her projection today is her average over the last 5 games. Sometimes there's not a whole lot that goes into these projections. Sometimes they're just basically the average, what this player averages at home versus this team. Sometimes that's what it is. I don't know all the shit that goes into projections. That's why I say they do vary. They are subjective. If you want to focus on one thing that's pretty consistent, it's the odds, and just pay attention to the odds. Follow the money. Where's the money going? It doesn't always work out, but name one thing that you do in your research process that always works out. So 1.6 is her average over the last 5 games. This is fucking terrible. I mean, you would think at some, you want to talk about a bounce back? Talking about Caitlin Clark bouncing back? You want to talk about a bounce back? Man, she needs a bounce back like fucking, I couldn't even think of a quick wit little joke there. She needs a bounce back like a ball. 6, 5, 5, 2, 1, and 0. I mean, What's the last 10 games look like? So this is like, right? Up, down, up, down, up. It's going to come up. I mean, if you want to take a shot on the over her threes, because you don't get any worse than 0 threes made. Yeah, she can possibly put up 1, but you know, you're looking at these games, you're seeing a bounce back in these games. But man, that's about as bad as it gets. Damn. Man. Was this the game we took the over? No. What game was that? What game was that where we took the combo prop? It was her and Kelsey Plum, wasn't it? I don't think they went over. They definitely didn't go over that shit. If this was, we took her on this game and she only hit 1. Yeah. I need to scroll through my previous slips. Man, that's bad. Assists for Ongabawale. We're gonna look at that one. I maxed out. All right, let's clear these out. We'll clear out these plays. Luka under PRA, Tatum over RA, Luka under turnovers, Hamby over rebounds and assists. Bobby Witt got bumped up to 9.5. We just threw him in there just for the sake of throwing him in there, but for what it's worth, it did get bumped. And Porzingis already got bumped up, so we called that one. And then now we're going to look at the under on Nia Curse. Nia Curse sounds like a real name too. Just jumble that shit up. Ongabawale's assist at 4.5. Let's take a look at these. All right, so bam. 4 straight games of hitting this over. Hooked it in that one game against the Pahonix Mercury. Numbers against the LA Sparks. Last 3 games have been strong. Projected for 5 assists. We're also getting positive odds for the over. I shouldn't say. 136 to the over. Hard Rock 140. So out of all these books, you're getting 2 books that like the over outright. On these 2 platforms, they'll probably get bumped up. And these are so even at this time. You know, you're seeing a lot of split, but can't ignore this. You can't ignore the projections, and you can't ignore the few books that do like the over on this one. The only bugaboo on this one is you would say overall her numbers against Dallas or Las Vegas have not, golly, Los Angeles have not been the best, but over her last 10, very strong numbers. She's hooking it in these 2 games, and these are very, very close, right? But when she's over. It's not even a sweat. No, that one's a good one, T. Yeah. Okay. So again, if you're looking at taking over, or excuse me, if you're looking at pairing up with Caitlin Clark, that's your GOAT for the day. You know, go under her points. Ongabawale assists look good. Derek Hamby's 13.5 rebounds and assists look good. If you want to go the complete WNBA route, you can. Those are a couple of good plays to throw in there. Yeah. There you go. Anthony says, I'm also seeing Skylar Diggins-Smith on a little streak with points. What's our girl Cameron Brink up to? Hold on. Sometimes when I'm alone in my room, I create first half WNBA slips, and I typically look for a few players with absolutely zero research outside of just digging into like the past 5 games and maybe team history. Cameron Brink is one that I usually take the under on for first half, depending on the line. Obviously, these are getting lower and lower and lower. These are getting lower and lower and lower as her performance also declines. But willing to take a look at the under on her first half PRA. And then the other one is Carly Samuelson. There are a couple of, well, does she even have a prop for PRA? No. That's also a good indication that it's probably too good of a play. If you don't see it on the board, it's not because it's a bad play. It's because it's probably a strong play that everyone's going to take a strong stance on. So Cameron Brink got 3 props in there for her. All right. One of these days she's going to crush her line and I'm going to lose, but it'll be at a point where her line is so low, you know, so I'm willing to keep drinking out of that well. So let's take a look at Skylar Diggins-Smith. All right. So DraftKings even on this one, ESPN Bet even on this one. First book that we have on the screen that is giving you odds to one side over the other is FanDuel. You got Fliff also. So you got 2 conflicting. Not really, actually. I didn't see that. I thought that was 100. So this is basically a coin flip, you know. So FanDuel so far is the only book giving you under odds. Now we got Caesars giving you under odds. We have Hard Rock, like by the slimmest, giving you under odds. Bovada is at a split, as is PrizePicks. So yeah, a couple of books. The only books that are actually giving you odds instead of like, you know, even are favoring the under. She is projected for 16 points. You're going to round it up to 16. 4 straight games of going over this line. In her 2 matchups with the aces, she has crushed and then been crushed. This is a tough matchup. So it does make sense. When you see this, it does make sense to see the odds favor the under. It doesn't really make sense, but the matchup, in my opinion, is probably the reason why you're seeing the odds. If she were playing Chicago or Indiana or I don't know, doesn't matter. You definitely see different odds for Skylar Diggins-Smith. Is there anything for her that you could play in place of the points that she could possibly get the over on? It's hard to go over PRA when her points aren't favored to go over. FanDuel does like the over on her points and assist. That's one book. PR, Rebounds and assists. 3-pointers made. Yeesh. Yeah, there's not a lot here. That's what Vegas does. They just really suppress all that production. All right, let's go and let's take a look at Cameron Brink. So her PRA is at 16.5. 4 straight games of going under. I mean, she blew up here. No surprise, one of those games was against Indiana. Maybe take the over on her lines when she plays Indiana. This game is against Dallas. Last time she played Dallas, man, she crushed. 26 PRA. She had 21 points against Dallas. When we look at her point prop today, she's projected for 7 on an 8.5 point prop. She's projected for 14 PRA. So her points today, ESPN does like the over. Bet Rivers likes it as well. Hard Rock. So you got 3 books that are giving you odds in favor of the over. PRA, nothing for PRA, unfortunately. Steals and blocks. We're going to talk about fantasy points here. Shit, I didn't realize she was getting steals and blocks like that. Her fantasy score is set to 26 today. So on the average, if she got you 3. She got you 3 steals and blocks. That's 9. She got you 3 against Dallas last game out. That's 9 points. She got you 8 points. That's 17. She went out and got you 4 rebounds. That's 21.8. And then she had 2 assists. That's 3. That's 24.8. And then you take look at those turnovers. So she, based off of those numbers, she's in line for anywhere between 21 to 24 fantasy points, 25 fantasy points. Her line is at 26 today. I would still feel comfortable taking the under on her fantasy score because of those turnovers. She can have 27, 28 fantasy points, and now you got to go and minus the turnovers, and now she's left with 24, 25. I think the fantasy score is in play for Cameron Brink for the under. Her first half PRA is set to 8.5. She crushed that last games. I would feel comfortable with the fantasy score for her going under on that one. I think the PRA might be getting a little too cute. That is the lowest I've seen her PRA so far. And then that first half is a little too cute. So I think the 26 fantasy score is in play for the under. Looking at the over on Gubawale, looking at the under on Nurse's threes. And then if you want to take the over on Skylar Diggins-Smith points against the Aces, you can, though the odds are favoring the under. It is a very tough matchup for her. So we could see a drop. Maybe you could play the over, but what you also could do is just stay away from this one. Kind of hope she has a bad game and then take the over the next game out because she's not playing the Aces again, right? So her point prop drops from 15.5 to probably 13.5. Then you go ahead and take the over on that one. This is also inflated based off her past 4 games. So you could also play and try to leverage that if you wanted to. But yeah, we just talked about all those WNBA players. Plum under threes. I think it's only on underdog. What's up, Dante? What's up, man? What's up? What are you doing? Ooh. I can't ever take her under on threes. She can get her shot every time. I know, man. I forgot what game it was last season, and I happened to be watching it. There was a time when there was literally no, no. Maybe it was All Star break. I don't know, MLB All Star break, and obviously no NBA. I was watching the Aces play, and I swear Plum was just bringing the ball up the court, and she was just taking Curry shots, just launching from like logo and shit. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, no D. She was just pulling up, knocking threes down. And I think she hit like 3 in a row, and then Minnesota called a timeout or whatever. Literally, just anytime she wanted, she was just launching shit. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how easy that was for her. It's just without even a thought, just launching. Clark points or first half points on underdog. You like her over, Dante, or under? Because we were talking about the under on her points earlier, but the bounce back is there, and Washington kind of sucks. So you can't make a case. Oh, I see up here. You like the over. Okay, so you're making a case for the over on her points. I know those are first half points. If you're ever in a position where you feel like there's not enough value on the board to play multiple slips, and you don't want to get stupid and just play dumb shit, you can look to double down on your current plays. So if you like the over on Caitlin Clark's points, then now you start looking at her first half and start building out slips like that. If you like the over on her assists or anybody's assist, then you probably look to a teammate that you feel is going to benefit from that, and you can build out slips like that. I'm only throwing that out there because I don't think it's done often enough, but instead of playing the same shit over and over and over again, like, oh, I like the over on Caitlin Clark's points, I'm going to put that in 5 of my slips. You could look to say over on her points, and then take the over on her first half points, and then take the over on her first half PRA, and then take the over on her fantasy. You can build out slips like that, and that way it just diversifies, and you're not putting all that shit on one play, because it's possible for her to go over first quarter, first half points, but miss her full game points, or it's possible for her to go over full game fantasy, but not go over PRA, and so if you ever feel like, man, there's not enough out there to play, look to some of the first half and first quarter points. So with Caitlin Clark, we already looked at her points earlier. She is favored to go over 17.5, but at 18, I think a push is in play. So now you can look to her first half points. Her first half points on the board right now are at 9. We're seeing them at 9.5. So this is a little bit of a discount, I guess, if you want to call it. It doesn't really change anything up with her game logs, because she's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's way over or she's way under. So 9 is in that gray area. Washington's defense, top 10 in the WNBA, points allowed this season, 84 points a game. Unfortunately, they're not giving up that much production from behind the arc, so only allowing 8 threes made per game, 32% from 3. It's pretty strong, man. And that's Caitlin Clark's bread and butter. I like bread and butter. I like toast and jam. So her second chance points, like off rebounds, I'm assuming this is what this is referring to. Her points in the paint, not that bad. I mean, a couple games in there where she damn near got 10, but 5, 6 points in the paint. It's nice to see that complementing the outside shot. I don't know if this is like post up or if it's just like drive, get fouled, you know, and one or whatever. But she's taken 8 threes over her last 10 games. She's only at 29%. That's so low. That's so bad. It's a big adjustment. But again, Washington is giving up a ton of points. So yeah, if you like the over on her points at 18, then you know you got her first half points in there as well. You can look at her PRA. I think I mentioned that her PRA was in play earlier. I don't know if that PRA line is up. So first half PRA 14.5. Let's get I still like the under on Brink 26 fantasy score, but we're gonna get her out of there. We'll get Nurse out of there. Ongabawale's assist, that's a very strong play as well. All right, so Caitlin Clark first half PRA or full game PRA at 30. 14.5 looks like the better deal because it is a slight discount. She needs 31 here. She needs 15 here. 15 times 2. If she replicated that in the second half, then that's 30. So you're still getting a discount based off the numbers here. So Caitlin Clark PRA is at 30.5. It's been bumped up. At 30.5, you got FanDuel liking the over, Bet Rivers liking the over, DraftKings liking the over at 29.5. So we got two books that like the over full game PRA. If you look at the first half PRA for Caitlin Clark, that's sitting at 15. Now, when we bring that line down, it does change a lot. So these two games would be unders. So you can look, if you want to say that's an over, she's a 50% hit rate, or you can just remove these from the games. And now you're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And she's 3 of 8, which is a way better percentage than fucking 3 of 10. Fantasy score, she needs steals and blocks. This is first half steals and blocks. Full game steals and blocks. Not that great. I mean, this will get it done for you. These games really aren't doing shit, especially if she's turning the ball over 3+. Yeah, like those games where she's getting you 3 steals, doesn't matter. All they're doing is soaking up the turnovers. If she were to suppress these turnovers, if she was averaging 2 turnovers a game and then flipping that and getting you 3, 4 steals and blocks, that's when it starts to help your fantasy score. So maybe that would be the only reservation on taking the over her fantasy score, is the fact that she is turnover prone. I mean, just her last 5 games alone, she's averaging 6. But again, this is Washington. So they're creating 17 turnovers per game. That is roughly 4 turnovers per quarter. That sounds like it's pretty good. That sounds like it's like a pretty good percentage. Yeah. Damn, if her turnovers weren't so high, I think her fantasy score would be really in play. Listen, if you think her threes start falling today, this is like basically she hits 3 threes in the first half. That's what that is. That's a push, but I mean, that's 3 threes. It's also half of her full game points. Are we looking at an early NBA alliance before the bumps? What's up, Rosalie? Yeah, we already did. We already did. We looked at a few NBA. We looked at a few WNBA plays Excuse me. We looked at a few NBA plays already. So hold on. So this is what I locked in already on PrizePicks. I got this slip in like, I don't know, like 8 o'clock or something. Let me bring this down a little bit. Okay, so PJ over PRA, that's been bumped up to 19. I did take the under on Derek White's PRA. I think with Porzingis in there now, and then the way Tatum is rebounding, I think that's kind of what keeps him under this. Even if he goes out there and gets you 15 points, 16 points, it's possible for him to not get you 8 or more rebounds and assists. Talked about the under on Luka's PRA. I think that's still available. Kristaps Porzingis has been bumped up to 15. Took the over 14.5. Also took the over Jason Tatum 14.5 rebounds and assists. That one is in play. And then the under on Jaylen Brown's turnovers, that one's been removed from the board. So that's my early game 2 slip that I did share with Premium. Don't be mad at me, Premium, for sharing this for free. But that's what I played. I also threw the Porzingis and Porzingis play in a separate slip along with the Luka under rebounds and assists. It all correlates. If you take the under on Luka's 15.5, you know, taking the under on his rebounds and assists also makes sense. And that's another way to double down on a player prop if you want to build out multiple slips. So yeah, Rosalie, these are a few plays that we did talk about at the beginning of the stream. And those are the ones that are still on the board, are still in play, like Luka, White, Tatum. Those are still in play. PrizePicks, from what I'm seeing, PrizePicks is not giving you the best lines for game 2. Go look on BETR. BETR is giving you really good lines for game 2, and they're giving you more options for just different players, things that you're not seeing on PrizePicks and Underdog. So go check it out on BETR. And you can also play the Kyrie Irving promo on BETR as well. So that's a slam dunk. Let's see. PJ points and rebounds. Yeah, PJ's points and rebounds his PRA got bumped up. Then you go and look at something else, right? PR, even points. Under on Kyrie's points and rebounds, and then Al Horford first half PRA. Al Horford first half PRA. Shit's way back there. Are you looking at the over or under on that? 9 is a low line. So let's take a look at that one. Let's switch over to the NBA. One game. That's crazy. All right, so first half PRA. That looks really good. Now we'll bring it down to 9. Doesn't really make a difference. 100% over his last 5, 100% in his last 5 versus Dallas, and 70% in his last 10. He's projected for 20 PRA. So that does line up very well with the over on first half. You're assuming there's a balance in production. You know, that's not like, oh, he came out and did nothing in the first half and then made up for it in the second half. You're assuming that, yeah, he's in or around that 10 PRA per half. It's not as strong as the first half, but, you know, 9 is pretty close. 8 is pretty close to not, you know, that's a push. That's an over. That's an over. You got 2 unders. So obviously the first half has been where the magic's happening for Al Horford. But when you combine it all, you know, you can split that PRA down the middle and it gives you 10. He only needs 9 to push, 10 to go over. So that math adds up to me. Strong numbers, very strong numbers. Games at home in the playoffs, you can even just give it even more of a look, just deeper look. 3 games at home versus Dallas, 2 this season. He did go over that. Last 10 playoff games at home, he's gone over that in 70%. And then last 5 home playoff games, been over that 5 straight. So yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a good find right there. Sean Kemp 40. What's up? Good morning. Good afternoon. Jackie Young, rebounds and assists or points and rebounds? All right, so Jackie Young is being censored on PrizePicks. They don't have very many props for her. So if you like the over on her rebounds and assists, based off these 2 individual lines, she needs 14. She needs 6 boards and 8 assists. That's 14. Let's take a look at what the combined number is and see if any one of these stands out, or just go play the rebounds and assists where they have it as a combo. You'll have to go on underdog or better. Actually, better doesn't have WNBA props, so I just thought about that. So you'll probably need to go to underdog. Kyrie Irving promo, 0.5 points on underdog as well. So you got 2 Kyrie Irving promos, 1 on better and then 1 on underdog. Let's look up Jackie Young. Jackie Young's rebounds and assists are at 12.5 on underdog. Let's talk about why that's a good line. So let's skedaddle back over here. Okay. Look. She needs 6 rebounds. If you played this alone, she needs 6 rebounds. She needs 8 assists to go over. That's 8 plus 6 is 14. If she pushes, that's 7 plus 6 is 13. Her rebounds and assists line is 12.5. This is the best value. You don't play the individual lines. You can if you want to. I'm trying to help you, but 12.5 is lower than 14. So she needs 13 on this line. She needs 14 on the other one. That's great value on the underdog. You would play the over on that one while you still can. Although these odds are not favoring what we want, right? So based off those discrepancies, I think the over on her 12.5 rebounds and assists looks good, right? However, the individual lines on the books do not like the over. Probably something to do with her history versus Seattle, where she has barely gotten the over, only averaging 5 rebounds and only averaging 3 assists. So, not so fast, my friend. I still think the best value is the 12.5 on underdog. Compare that to the normal lines, the individual lines. You're getting a better value on that. However, if you're buying into this history versus the Seattle Storm, then you're probably going to stay away from these lines, because she has yet to go over assist prop in 12 games. And she has only gone over her rebound prop in 2 of 12 games versus the Storm. Points and rebounds, not much better. Just 4 out of 12. Now, it does make a difference that the last 4 games have been overs, which is more recent. So you could look and say, hey, what's going on here? Is the rotation different? Are her minutes down? Is she just not, getting the roles different? So maybe this holds more relevance. So PR might be the best play based off these numbers. Her PR is at 24.5 on the underdog. So you could look to take the over here. But again, rebounds and assists versus the Seattle Storm, not hitting. Just not hitting. So that probably has a lot to do with why the odds are so bad. But if you think that the 12.5 on underdog is low, which I think it's a little low, 12.5, then play the over. But man, that's really bad. Water guns to my head, I would stay away from the 12.5 rebounds and assists. That's just, the value is there based off the individual lines, but that team history is brutal. And I would definitely consider the PR, just because even though the overall number is bad, recent games have been very strong, and that's kind of what you want to see. If the bigger picture as a whole is shit, but there's a section of that that's really good, and those are the most recent games, that to me speaks louder than the bigger picture, which is those 12 games. Obviously there's something different when you look at her total shots taken in these games: 10 10 10, 3 6 9 8, and then boom, 13 18 14 14. This is what we want. I mean, this is going to help contribute to the points and rebounds. This helps nothing with her rebounds and assists. So I think I've talked myself into taking the over on her points and rebounds, and I would probably stay away from her rebounds and assists, just because that history is nasty. It's gross. That shit is gross. I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but that's the beauty of player props, is that you can change your opinion and mind, and don't like, oh no, you said he was going to go over. Oh, can't change your mind. Yes, you can. That's why we research the shit, so you can change your mind and build the best case. And after that research, I'm staying away from her rebounds and assists and just going to look to her PR, because that's where the production is coming from. Boom. Done. What's up, Boom? Boom, Bandit. Lance Lynn under 6 strikeouts. Let's take a look at that, and let's start wrapping up What if that was a PA for condoms? Like, let's start wrapping up, fellas, and make sure that we're not overpopulating the earth. No, I was gonna say, let's start wrapping up the stream so we can get out of here. All right, Lance Lynn. Ooh. Where is this cat? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This Framber Valdez is so tempting. He has just been getting rocked. He has just been getting rocked, man. I don't know if he's tipping pitches. I don't know if he's tipping cows. I don't know if he's tipping bitches. I don't know what he's doing, but there's something going on with his strikeouts this season. He is just not the same dude. He might be hurt. He might have some shoulder impingement or some shit going on that we don't know about, but 5 is so low for him. It was 4.5 and it got bumped up. There's Lance Lynn right there. Big ass farmers.com looking ass. All right, let's take a look. 6 strikeouts for Lance Lynn. Farmersonly.com. Y'all remember that commercial? Family Guy had a really funny skit about that. I don't know if I can say it on my stream, but it's, if you have any interest, just Google Family Guy farmersonly.com. It's pretty funny. Where we at? What team does this dude play for? This guy's bounced around more than this guy's bounced around more than a basketball. All right, so man, this dude's strikeouts have been fucking awful. We're only gonna look at this. These are all this season. Let's look at the last 5 games. I think those hold the most relevance. When you look at his strikeout prop, this one got bumped up. So at 5.5, he was getting plus odds or odds in favor of the over. DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, FanDuel, Pinnacle, minus 165 to go over 5.5 strikeouts. That is telling me that 6-7 strikeouts is in play at 5.5. Now that it's been bumped up to 6, you're not going to see such heavy odds, but man, that's still favoring the over at 6. It's because the Colorado Rockies are shitty. 26% strikeout rate versus right-handed pitching. 30%, 26%, 30, 26, 22, 32, 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys who can possibly be in today's lineup, all with above 25% strikeout rates. And then you got Blackman in there with a below 15%. And then you have Elias Diaz at 19, just hovering around 20. The walk rates are pretty damn low as well. So this is telling me that Blackman is not striking out a lot, but he's not getting walked a lot. So he's just not getting on base, right? With this average is low. Strikeouts are low, but walks are low as well. I mean, but just because players are striking out doesn't mean they're not crushing, because you could have guys like, 50% of the time they're striking out, but they're getting 4 plate appearances, and 2 out of those 4 plate appearances, they're hitting safely or hitting a home run, while that strikeout rate is high. Your overall production is solid. So it's possible Lance Lynn can get beat up a little bit here, but we've seen pitchers give up 5-6 earned runs, also strike out 6-7 batters. Well, that is not, this shit ain't 1991 anymore where games are 1-0, 2-0. We're seeing games that look like fucking first half NFL scores. So it's possible they get after him a little bit, but also in the process, he's racking up 6-7 strikeouts. This one is a little scary to touch just because the matchup is so good for Lance Lynn. Now, it does help that this game is not in Colorado, so ballpark factor is not as big of a deal. How many outs is he projected to go for? 18 outs. Man, the odds really like him to go deep into this game. 7 innings is the longest he's been in. 6 innings here, and the rest of these are right at 5. I mean, in those games, he's given up. So look, 4 earned runs. I don't know. I think if you're going to take the under, yeah, take the under at 6 because it got bumped up from 5.5 to 6. But just keep in mind how bad the Rockies are. He had 9 strikeouts last season against them. Not saying what happened last time is going to happen this time, but not much has changed with the Rockies since then. They're still swinging and missing. So, yeah, that one's a little scary to me personally, but damn, maybe you can find it at 6.5 or something. If you can find the strikeouts at 6.5, that'd be crazy. But 5.5 is getting crazy juice for the over, and at 6, I think the over is still favored. Let's see. I like the underplay. Boom. On Lynn. Lynn is a bum. He is a bum. But, dude, it's the Rockies. The Rockies are bad. Bad. So you stay away from that one, or you just cross your fingers and go under, you know? Locked in Caitlin points. Arike assists for 2. Anthony, don't you mean a 2-woman? Don't you mean a 2-woman, not a 2-man? Come on, man. Waiting on the Flex Friday promo to be available for MLB WNBA lottery slip. I'm running all demons for my protected play, the $5 protected play. I only have $5 to play. I don't know if that's I don't know if they changed the format completely, but I don't get the 20 protected play anymore. So $5, I feel like just go for broke. If go all demons and they don't hit, you get it right back, So I might just go all demons with my pick. I'll share that in the Discord for everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to get out of here. We covered a lot today. We covered a lot of player props today. We covered WNBA. We covered NBA. We covered MLB. Let me see here real quick. Is there anything just super last minute that I can throw on the screen for you all, so that way if you want to walk away with a couple of plays, you can add those to a slip. Let's see if this one's still on the board. Watch out, Nat. Yeah, we talked a lot about Caitlin Clark today. Her ears must be on fire. Like, who the fuck? I tell you what, let's do this real quick. How many people do we have on the stream still? 13. Listen, in honor of y'all still being here, I really appreciate y'all lasting this long. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's build out a quick slip on PrizePicks as a way to say thank you. If somebody jumped off, they're not seeing this. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get for having shit to do. You should not have anything to do and just watch this stream and get a free slip. So let's do this. Did I not spell that right? I did not. All right. This now this League of Legends play I did briefly talk about it at the beginning of the stream. I also did put it on my cheat sheet and in a slip or two in the Discord that I shared with Premium already. I'm going to take a few plays that we talked about already. This assist play is from T. I'm going to take his play. Definitely not claiming it. Just gonna play it. I don't want to put any NBA plays into this slip just because I don't want to wait. I already have a few NBA plays that I'm waiting on for Sunday, so this one will be all for today. Man, Washington does not strike out a lot. But Chris Sale looks like vintage Chris Sale this season. Only took him 3 years after surgery to get his shit right. Takes a long time for a pitcher to get right after some surgeries. His line is at 6.5 now. It's projected for 7. At 6.5, you got DraftKings under, Caesars under. What does Pinnacle say? Under? That's a 5 pick right there. Yeah, let's leave it at a 5 pick. So this one is a bit of a mix. Under 31 maps, 1-2 kills for, I don't know how to say this fucking name. Xfloud. Over 3 map, 1 kills for Hyrit. That's a League of Legends play. I'm gonna plant my flag on this under fantasy score for Cameron Brink. 26. We're gonna go over Ongabawale's assist at 4.5. We got Chris Sale under 6.5 strikeouts. Who is there? Anybody else we talked about in the stream that we can throw in here for a 6 pick? Cody Bellinger over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So close yesterday. I played a demon slip, 2 demons in one slip over Seiya Suzuki home run and Ian Happ home run. And Suzuki did hit a home run and ended up finishing 5 of 6. And I shared that in the Discord yesterday. That was so close. That was so close. I thought we had it. Ian Happ just didn't get it done. This game against Cincinnati is, I mean, Great American Small Park, hitter's paradise in Cincinnati. Like we talk about a lot on Coors Field, but I'm sure a lot of baseball fans know how hitter friendly Great American Small Park is in Cincinnati. This is a good matchup for the Cubs. projected for 2.65 right here. His numbers against Lodolo, not a lot of power. Does have 2 hits, 2 singles in this matchup with Lodolo. And then on the season versus lefties, you always look lefty versus lefty for Bellinger. Split, like reverse split. It's a good matchup for him. Not in terms of power, but in terms of just overall production and average. Lodolo is doing a pretty decent job at limiting lefty production, but his numbers against Bellinger show that he is he's open for business. So I tell you what, let's finish this out. Let's make this a 6-pick flex on PrizePicks. Let's go 6th and final pick. We're going to go Cody Bellinger over his hits, runs, and RBIs. And that makes it a 6-pick. We will put $10 on it, and then we will submit it. And this is what we got. So we just last minute build of a slip. We took some plays from our stream, a couple new ones, but we mixed and matched. We got a little bit of everything: MLB, WNBA, and some esports in there as well. So if this hits, we're 25x the richer. 5 out of 6 gets us a double up. 4 out of 6 gets us $4. And then obviously anything less than that is a loss. So fingers crossed this one does hit. If you want to tail it, this is what it is again. Screenshot this. There you go. There's a slip. And that's how we end the stream. Appreciate y'all being here on this Friday afternoon. Remember what I said about choosing your attitude. Choose your attitude today. Don't let something else choose it for you. Choose your attitude today and every day, but especially today. Have a good Friday. I'll be back tomorrow with another Player Prop Talk live stream. Hit the like button on your way out. Consider subbing up to the channel. If you do sub up to the channel, if you have subbed up to the channel, make sure your notification bells are on so you don't miss out on future content, future live streams. You'll get the little ding, 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 letting you know when there's a new stream. Hope all your player props respect the damn coin. Hope our slip that we just built respects the damn coin. It'd be great to cash out with you all and we all enjoy some profit today. Again, I'll be back tomorrow morning with another Player Prop Talk live stream. And until that live stream, Chavez is out.